I think that it is an important conversation that we need to have in the framework of like we have a birth crisis. And I think there's two paths that we're seeing as conservatives, the JD Vance path and the Elon Musk path. I'm a big fan of JD Vance's path. He's walking through every single engagement, carrying his kids. He's an engaged dad. He was raised by a single mother. So it's you don't have to be anti-single mom because we have a wonderful vice president thanks to, well, not really thanks to his single mom, really thanks to his grandmother. But we need to make a decision as a society, like how are we going to save ourselves? And it's the JD Vance way.
To think that these are the only two ways to save America and the declining population just shows how out of touch you are, because neither one of these solutions work for most people, because next to nobody has Elon's money to support all these different kids from different women. Not to mention, these aren't the most well-adjusted kids either, and quite frankly, I don't think most people want what Elon's doing. So you saying that's even an option tells me you have no idea what you're talking about, because first off, no one's saying they want that, and second, it's something unattainable for most people, either through lack of means, like money, or looks. So no, this Elon method is not happening anytime soon. And as for the JD Vance way, he got together before online dating was ever a thing, before all the crazy standards and what the dating landscape looks today. So if you think the only options are be like Elon and impregnate every girl that says yes, or be like JD Vance and check your local bookstores, then you have no idea what you're talking about, because one method's unattainable and the other one's archaic.
You know, we did a Culture War episode with Candace Horbach and Myron Gaines, and it was about adult content and society and what it was doing. And of course, relationships and marriage were a big component of this. And Myron was saying, don't get married because, you know, with the state, because it's broken and it's bad for you. But he did say having a kid out of wedlock is an L, and I respect that. The problem is then, though, like, so, well, you can't get married. I mean, pick one. Like, what do we do? I think the issue is there are a lot of these guys out there that are like, men shouldn't get married and men should sleep around and men should have babies with as many women as possible because that's an alpha, what an alpha would do. And I'm like, no, that's what a chimp does. I'm not being a dick. I'm like, that's literally how chimps society works.
But also, if you want to have more sex as a man, you will have that sex if you're married. Like, statistically, you are more likely to get laid if you're married. I can text someone in my house and get laid. Like, it really does not get better than that.
First off, Tim, no one's saying that, other than characters like Andrew Tate, who run around and play cartoon versions of feudal lords who had concubines. Next to no one's actually doing this. And to answer your question, what do? Well, you either get a surrogate with the AI waifu as optional, or become a passport bro. And you just ignoring these viable options for the everyday guy either comes from disingenuous or ignorance. Especially now, since you've done a handful of podcasts with the biggest red pill influencers. And as for the woman saying you'll have more sex when you're married, that's just provably wrong, because it always dies out. You may have some outliers here and there, because besides money, it's usually the next reason why people get divorced. So you're trying to tell guys like it's sex on demand. It's just flat out wrong. Check out the countless stories in r/dead bedroom if you don't believe me. Stuff like this is exactly why I don't listen to these big influencers or these trad people over 40 on dating. They don't know what they're talking about. They either have too much money so they can't relate with you anymore, or they got together at a time that was very different.
I was just trying to say that if I'm starting to lose my mind a little bit, if you can just work with me, and if you can just make me feel better in that moment so I can get out of this little cycle that I'm in, and then I can feel better afterwards. Then like an hour or something, and then I can call you later, and then we can have like a normal conversation when I'm not in that mood, okay? But she can't even do that when I'm starting to get a little mean or like whatever, starting to be a little like fucked up in the head. She can't. All she cares about is her own feelings. She doesn't care about my fucking feelings. She's never willing to put me first. Never willing to be selfless. Always her feelings matter first. In the terms of like, oh, but you just said this and it was so mean to me. And now I'm going to go on a fucking berating fucking marathon and call you names and all this fucking bullshit. And instead of just like trying to make me feel better for 20 minutes and then in an hour we call. She can't just do that. And then I can say I'm sorry, whatever at that point. But when she's the one doing shit that I don't like, that's exactly what I do. I work with her in that moment, help get her out of that situation. I help her out of the bad mindset that she's in. And then later on, we'll talk normally when she feels better. And she can apologize and do all that right then and there. So why can't she do the same for me? Does that make sense? So I just said, I don't want it. I said, I don't want it, bro. If you want to, like, I'll break up with you. I don't know. I need somebody who's going to be with me through thick and thin, support my feelings when I'm out here working my ass off while you're sitting home doing fucking nothing. You're at home doing nothing. I'm out here working my ass off, going mentally insane. So you can live a good life. And I'm the bad guy? Well, you're at home doing nothing. Like, dude, it's fucked up, man. It's fucked up.
Even though the manosphere is very tribal, especially when it comes to solutions, the one thing they can all really rally behind is preventing crash outs like this, because stuff like this is pretty much what we all try to prepare and make you aware of. Women aren't there to work with you, you're there to work with them, or more like serve them now. They don't care about your feelings or your problems, and they don't even want to know them, other than when you can't buy them stuff or pay the bills. You're there to make their life better. Why do you think they picked you? This idea of a partnership is what they sell you on, while they slowly rug pull the stuff they promised you. They aren't there to listen to your feelings or your problems. If you want that, talk to your best male friend. If you don't got one of those, get a dog or go to a therapist. Because this idea that we have that this woman is to be with me through thick and thin died in the 70s with no fault divorce. Because as soon as you start slipping and showing weakness, they're looking to grab all the silverware before they abandon ship. And that's what these blue pill guys never understand. And then when it happens to them, they have no idea what to do. And then they're punching windows and cabs.
It's overdone.
I'm gonna fucking I can't fucking believe this! I don't care, dude. I don't care, bro. I got glass in my hand. I don't care, bro. I can't fucking take this anymore.
Broken.
I got glass in my fucking hand, man.
This is the most autism to ever be conjured up in a 45-day period.
It's too bad the media only associates Red Pill or Manosphere with people like Andrew Tate, Fed and Fraud, Kevin Scamuels, and the whatever podcast. Because even though these people say the words, they don't actually live it. Most of these people didn't come up with any new ideas. They just regurgitate what a smarter man said, which would be fine if that's what they were living, but they're not. Because there's always some scandal coming up proving they're doing the exact opposite, much like with all these trad-con conservatives. And it makes it look like we're all trapped in some ideology or cult, when really it's just a group of guys comparing notes on why this or that happened, to help guys like him from spinning out and making even bigger mistakes, because they just don't understand women, because their idea of a relationship is still from the 1950s. And this is what a blindsided blue pill guy figuring it out looks like, especially guys in his position. They just want to sit there, spend your money, dump their emotional garbage on you, all while you're being that quiet workhorse. They don't want to hear your problems. They don't care how hard you're working. None of that matters to them. They have a morality of a child, so all that stuff you're doing is what she already expects, kind of like a child to a parent. The child just expects things, but really doesn't give much thought on how or why it gets there, just that you're supposed to do it. And much like them, if you're not doing it, they're going to throw a tantrum. But most of those conversations or incidents are never recorded, and most guys let it build and build until it explodes like this, and then they look like the crazy ones, even though they're the ones running around trying to do everything to make her happy. And even though I don't like Ice Poseidon and think he's a little more than just a nuisance streamer, I do believe what he's saying and really hope he learns from this, that being blue pill or running your life around a woman will always end in these results.
What's your age?
27.
Are you single?
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
Because men ain't shit.
So for the men watching this, what do you think they think when they hear that and see that?
They're like, this girl's a bitch. But no, honestly, like, we need men to level up. Come on.
So you don't think your standards are too high?
No, absolutely not.
So what problems are you running into right now?
I can't speak on it necessarily, but my ex is dating a celebrity. So the problems I'm running into are that men are always looking for a babysitter. They want someone to pay their bills and do their laundry and take care of them like their mom.
But you want a man who does that for you.
Period, yes. I'm a princess. I want to be taken care of.
So you're not a strong, independent woman.
Oh, I'm super strong, bad bitch, independent, but like there's a level to a man that can also step into his masculinity, be strong, and take care of his queen.
So besides the obvious that we have another almost 30-year-old woman that was a Chad pass-around and now is looking for the next billionaire to come wife her up, I'm going to address more of what she said. She doesn't want to do any of the wifely things like cooking or cleaning and expects you to cover it all. She basically just wants to be a receptacle for your semen and money. And we already have a job title for that. It's called the side chick or mistress. You don't get the same privileges if that's all you're going to do. And they really need to start viewing it like a job interview. And what tangible things are they actually bringing? Because all this protection and provision comes at a cost. That's why women typically got the mundane jobs of cooking or cleaning. Because it was easy and it's something that needed to be done, which freed up the man's time so he can do what he needed to do, so he can have those protection and provisions. Otherwise, he'd have to be doing those things, which would give him less time. And it reminds me of a quote, which I'm going to paraphrase, that in order for the great men to be great, we need the mundane men. Because without the farmers farming and everybody else that makes society run, the great men that made all their contributions would have no time, because they'd be too busy surviving. And it's kind of like this. All these girls want to marry great men, or in this case, men with money, but have the responsibilities of a side chick at best. So why would they marry you when they can just pay you and get the exact same? All these women with the housewives of wherever lifestyle, but that's pretty rare, akin to winning the lottery, and nobody's banking on that. So instead of thinking I'm going to be his mom by doing that, think about more that you're becoming a better deal, and even that's dwindling, because besides childbearing, everything else can be outsourced and put on auto payment like a utility bill, and you just want to do nothing, sit there, spend my money, and be a headache. Yet it's a big conundrum to you why you're single, and it must be because those pesky guys haven't leveled up, when no, it's because you haven't. It's like reverse leveling in a video game, but every year you go down. You skated by being better than everybody else, but now that all the raid teams have leveled up and passed you, you're not being invited anymore. So it's not so much that these guys need to level up, but more so you're not high enough now to do the content they want to do.
I'm divorcing my husband because he booed Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl, and I still don't think he believes me, to be honest, but he might want to start, because I just filed my paperwork at the courthouse, and you can see right here, the date of separation is this year's Super Bowl. I'm not just doing this because of the action of booing. I am doing this because of everything that it represents in our relationship. I have loved Taylor Allison Swift since I was 12 years old. My husband even likes her too. Like, he'll put on her music when we're cooking together. He has a favorite song, it's Girl at Home. But we were at the Super Bowl. It was me, him, and 5 of his buddies. And when they put Taylor up on the Jumbotron, all of his buddies started booing, and my husband joined in. And that just tells me everything I need to know about that man, because he didn't care that that would hurt my feelings. He just wanted to fit in with his boys. He didn't even care that that's not even how he actually feels. He just like wanted to look cool, I guess. And that's not a man. That's a boy. And when you see that, you can't really unsee it. So I'm divorcing him. Thankfully, I have a prenup. I'll be retaining all of my assets as well as the assets that I inherited. With peace and love, he probably will not be returning to the Super Bowl anytime soon. So that's one less booer for you, Taylor. I love you.
So before we get our pitchforks out, this is some garbage TikTok influencer who does outrage or shocking videos like this. So this most likely is 99% fake. But I thought it would open up the interesting conversation of the dumb reasons why women divorce, as I know I've read similar things like this. So I know the booing of Taylor Swift really wouldn't be that far-fetched. And that's not just me. When I scroll through the comments, I see a lot of Neo dodging bullet memes and making fun of very noticeable physical traits. And guys just automatically believing this really shows the state that marriage is in, and how broken no-fault divorce is, that this could be true and everybody would believe it. And until we decide that something like this is some impossible scenario, we'll just see marriage rates keep falling further until eventually we just don't even want to be around each other. And honestly, we're not really far off from that now.
I usually ask my brother like once a month, like, what's the craziest story that he has because his sister has an OnlyFans. So I'm gonna call him right now. I don't know, is he in school? What time is it? School. Let's see here. I released some crazy shit on my OnlyFans, so let's see if what the updated story is. Hey, what's the craziest story you have this month about me having an OnlyFans? Like, what's the craziest thing that's happened to you?
Okay, so this random kid I don't even know came up to me and he was like, "Is this your sister?" and showed me a picture.
Okay, all right.
Wait, no, I'm not finished yet. Wait, I'm not finished.
I don't want to know that.
Let me finish the story. All right, so basically what happened was he came up to me and showed me a picture, but it wasn't just a picture of what I thought. It was actually a video. And
all right, I gotta go. Bye. I can't hear that. I can't hear that. What video? I don't want to know. Oh, he texted me. I'll just buy him a car for his birthday. He'll be fine. This shit's really starting to have some backlash.
It's always funny that these women have no problem with what they're doing until someone's showing it to their family. And if you're going to be that uncomfortable and embarrassed by it, then maybe that should be your cue to you that you're doing something wrong. And buying yourself or family members stuff isn't some cure-all for the irreparable social damage that you're doing to yourself, your family, and your family's name. At best, it's a band-aid. And this is something you can't buy yourself out of, like all these women think they can do. A good litmus test for these women would be if they're going to be embarrassed if their family sees it. And if their reaction is something like hers, well then maybe you shouldn't be doing this. And even though I'm pretty sure this girl just does this type of content so she can double dip and play on both sides, this is still someone's life who doesn't make the hundreds of thousands she does. And if you're going to whinge and be embarrassed by it when it gets shown to your family, maybe you should hold on to that instinct and not do it in the first place. And if you're still going to do it, at least be upfront about it with them, so they're not going to be blindsided by some stranger one day. But we all know those are pretty rare instances, because the fact is, no matter how big that tough girl act is, you are embarrassed, as you should be, because it shows you couldn't make it doing anything else. And no matter how much you try to change the narrative, it's never going to work, because it's seen as a low-class job for low-class people. And that's where all the stigma comes from, and why it drags your family down with you. Because in most cases, you're a reflection of your family. That's why their respect level is so different from the families who have doctors and lawyers compared to the families who have adults raising them. And you can drape yourself in all the rich people stuff like cars, Rolexes, and brand clothing, but none of that stuff buys respect from strangers or your family. And if you're going to do low-class things, be prepared for those consequences. So Ashley St. Clair came out today saying she had one of Elon's kids, and the news really shouldn't be that surprising that another one of these right-wing conservative grifters don't live the life they're telling you to, especially when it comes to the women on our side. Because now, instead of finding that guy and building that family they all say they inspire to, she decided to have a billionaire's kid. And now we have all the usual grifters sweeping for her, using the defense of, well, we shouldn't dox kids, which is generally true. But when you make a living and speaking all these conservative podcasts, promoting the nuclear family and trad lifestyle, yet behind closed doors you're doing this, it really just shows what a hypocrite you are. And all the people running defense for her, it's like all these OF or ex-prawn stars becoming trad wives. The hypocrisy of it all makes it look like a clown show. And any credibility you try to do with these trad or conservative values go down with these people. And instead of disavowing, or at least just ignoring it, you're getting your golden broom out saying, well, it's okay guys because it's one of ours. And it makes you no better than the girls you sit across on the whatever podcast, because you have plenty of words for them, but none when it happens on your side. This just proves once again that all these people that come out and say all these nice conservative words or values, when it comes down to it, they ain't living it either. It's all just lip service to give you that feel-good feeling, like you guys talking about it is actually doing something, when in reality it's not doing anything. Everybody in this whole racket is just getting richer. The OF girls, the conservative guys are trad girls, everybody but you. Funny how it always works out this way, that these people try to beat you in the head how to live, yet when you open up their closet, they got some mighty big skeletons. Hey, yo, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you've been fucking my wife, bro. What you gotta say for yourself?
I'm sorry.
You're sorry? You fucking knew she was married. You're not a fucking idiot, man. You're fucking Steve Smith Sr. What kind of dumb shit was that? Why are you quiet, man? Be a fucking man. Steve. You ain't a fucking man, bro. All that shit you do on fucking TV, all that shit talking you do to other people. Now someone's got you on the fucking phone, you can't even fucking man up. This is the kind of stuff we're trying to warn men about. That if you're putting your wife, girlfriend, or whatever you want to call yourself around rich, powerful men, this is likely going to happen. And it doesn't just happen to nobodies like him. How many times have we seen wives doing other things with players on the team? And obviously environments like this are supercharged for this behavior to happen more, as all the variables are there, way more than they typically are. But this can happen anywhere, and that's the problem today. And with no recourse, what are these guys supposed to do? From reports, these two are married for 5 years, and now she blew up her spot for what? For a guy that's not going to save her, not gonna give her anything, and probably won't even talk to her after this. Meanwhile, his world is crumbling, and all he can get is, sorry bro. That's why we tell guys not to get married or get into anything legally binding, and at best just keep it super casual, cause there's been countless guys like this who thought they found the one. And then some Chad comes along and they try to monkey branch. And that's exactly what's happened here. We had a normal woman get in a position with a bunch of higher value men around, managed to get the attention of one of them, and then flooded him with sex. And with social media making it easier than ever for these people to get in contact, I'm sure this stuff is happening way more than it's reported. But this time we just had a video go viral. And the only thing you can do is just not build your house out of cards that you can easily just kick over.
Just IRL and gym and stuff.
Gym?
Yeah.
That's cool. Are you on Instagram?
No. Just stream.
Like Twitch?
Yeah.
No
Well, I'm on Kick right now, but yeah.
You're on Kick. My buddy and I have millions of followers on our medical channel.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I have no idea about all this. Do you live around here? We should grab coffee sometime.
I live in Maryland. No, I just came for groceries.
Okay. See, what is Kick? What is that?
It's like a live streaming. It's just like Twitch, but it's just Kick.
Wow. Tell you what. How old are you, by the way?
25.
Shut up. Really?
Yep.
Yeah, this is my buddy's channel over here. It's like millions of followers. What would we do during Kick? That'd be interesting.
I just stream. Like you can stream anything nowadays, like IRL or video games.
Who follows it?
I don't know, people who watch Kick.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
You wanna
meeting you.
grab coffee sometime and talk about social media?
I'm good, thank you.
No, it's fine.
Nice meeting you. I'm scared.
This is exactly why guys don't approach or even want to talk to women, because this was just some normal conversation that had no cheesy pickup lines, minimal flirting, and a very polite asking you out. But she somehow got scared, aka he's creepy. From the looks of it, we almost had to send in the police, and this is exactly why guys are having less and less interactions with women, because you're just having some normal ass conversation, and then she's blasting you online, and with no way knowing if you're creepy or not, it's just not worth the risk. Even if she doesn't have an online platform, it's just not worth getting the stigma at a workplace or a gym or some other social gathering you like to go, just because you wanted to get to know a girl you were interested in a bit better. And that's exactly what was going on here. He saw an attractive girl, struck up a conversation on what she was doing because she had a whole mobile Twitch setup, kept the convo going with something she was clearly interested in, and to top it off showed that he actually had interest in it because he had a friend doing the exact same thing. And then she's scared and you're creepy. Wow, it's such a Scooby-Doo mystery why we're not dating. And most of us would rather talk to ChatGPT or Grok. We all know why 99% of the time guys are talking to women. But when you can't even have a normal conversation where you have to worry if she thinks you're creepy or not, then don't be surprised when guys just stop. But really, this is all just an inevitability, because a lot of AI chats have or are in the early stages of getting text-to-speech. And once that becomes fully operational, places like Replica or Kajiwoto or whatever new one sprouts up is where everybody's going to be. So don't worry, ladies. You being scared that a creepy guy is going to have a normal conversation with you is soon to be over.
For water? Yeah, we're going to make too.
Yo, can I get? I don't have my wallet.
That sucks.
I thought you asked me on this date.
No, this is not a date. We're doing a podcast.
You literally asked me, Sarah, like, let's go on a date, and I said we have to film a podcast.
No, I said we're filming a pod. You want to go eat? I was like, I'm hungry. We can film the pod while we eat. I'm hungry.
So are you gonna pay for my food?
What the fuck is? What is this? What is it? You guys put a joke on me right now?
No. I just thought off, whatever, off camera, but I thought you said you were gonna pay for my food.
No, I don't. I don't think I got any more money in my account.
It's fine. Just click that button twice, and I got it.
I think I'm broke. Yeah, you made me broke.
I made you broke.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, fuck it. I'll pay for it. Jesus, I have to pay for her food. Yeah.
This is some of the self-entitled attitude women have today, especially the ones with a little bit of following. You essentially went out on a work trip, so why would you expect them to buy your food when everybody around you knows how rich you are? And this 2009 excuse, well, I forgot my card, doesn't really work, because with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay. There's a million different ways to digitally pay. You may as well just come right out with it and say, when guys take me out, I expect them to pay, no matter the reason they're taking me out. So this fading ignorance, I'm a silly girl, I forgot my card, tee-hee, is fooling nobody. Even Brad can see it, as I'm sure a guy like him had to deal with it plenty of times. That's why he didn't instantly cave, but he should have stuck to his guns, because by folding, it allows her behavior to continue, and she'll just keep doing this to the next guy and the next. It's not like she's starving anyways. And then people wonder why girls' behavior isn't getting any better. Well, when you continue to keep rewarding them, what do you think they're still going to do? And let's just say we'll give her the benefit of the doubt, and what she's saying is true. Don't you think the first thing she would have said is, well, can you buy it and I'll pay you back? No, it wasn't. It wasn't even brought up, because she went in fully intending Brad to pay. And until guys stop with this white knighting, you should expect to be taken advantage of, because they know you'll cave. Don't be standing there with a goofy face. You're the one allowing this to happen. They make as much or more than most men, so you should never feel obligated to pay, especially when it's not a date or nothing was agreed upon ahead of time. So don't say fuck it and succumb to the peer pressure. If this was a guy, you would have said no, because by doing that, you're giving them exactly what they want, and they'll just do it again.
You know what I want to see more of on this app is 30-year-old women being honest about how disappointing it is to go out at this big age. Because all you want to do is get cute, reconnect with nature, be social, but alas, we share a planet with the worst thing that has ever happened to humankind. Men in their 30s.
Actually, the worst thing to happen to mankind is feminism, because now we have a bunch of entitled women like her running around, thinking that the men that keep her whole existence going are the problem. I wonder what men she's talking about. Is it the ones that keep the electricity going? How about the ones that keep the sewage system going? Yeah, all these men that do everything that keep our life so easy, that the poorest of us can live a life that the kings of the past can only dream of. Yeah, they're the real problem here. What we have here is a woman seething and coping, that now that she's ready to settle down, the chads that used to give her all that attention are gone, and the guys that she had lined up the wings are saying no. That's why the worst thing in the world now are men in their 30s, because they don't want to save you from your poor choices. You're just mad now that your safety net is gone, and if you did any reflection, you realize all that thought and boss babying is what got you here crying alone in your bed. It has nothing to do with men in their 30s. Don't pass off the blame to somebody else, and really should be happy that all these men are here to keep everything afloat, keep the system humming along, and prevent everything from collapsing. Otherwise, you really would see the worst things that mankind can really do. And not wanting to date you after you've been ran through is not even on the list. And what we really should be seeing more on this app is not videos of 30-plus-year-old women saying how awesome and okay they are, when really they're just seething and coping, but videos of women being thankful for all the stuff that men do when they really don't get much back from the people they do it all for.